I want to say to every American that we believe in this contract and these reforms so deeply that we have not only put them in writing today, but that they will be in a full-page ad and TV guide, that we encourage every American when that ad comes out, which I believe is October 27th, to tear that page out, to stick it on your refrigerator till January 3rd, and then to join us. And I want to promise every American that we will have the same ad at the Speaker's desk every day until we meet our obligations, and we will begin the session every day by rereading the ad until we have met our obligations.
We will reread the ad every day. That was what it was like when the Republican Party unveiled their big legislative agenda back in 1994, the first midterm after Bill Clinton was elected president. In this first midterm after Barack Obama was elected president, unveiling the new GOP midterm agenda is a little different. First off, no TV guide this time, so there's nothing for you to tear out of a magazine and stick onto your refrigerator. It's also much longer this time, about 45 pages, so if you want to stick it on your refrigerator anyway, you're going to need a very powerful magnet. Before Republicans got it printed up as this very pretty brochure today, when the draft of it was sent out last night, it was sent out as a PDF document. Now, the PDF format is a fairly quotidian part of modern office life, modern academic life. A lot of us deal with PDF documents all the time. But there's one way in which PDF documents are uniquely not suited to being used in political life. If you right-click on a PDF document and then you select Document Properties, the name that auto-populates as the author of the document is the person whose computer it was produced on. Now, in politics, of course, whenever you're making one of your sacred pledges, you also, want it to seem, you always want it to seem like God beamed this down to you and you were just a spokesperson, just a mouthpiece for the Almighty. It wasn't authored so much as it was delivered. Well, in this case, the right-click trick shows that this document, the GOP Pledge for this year, is less of a delivery from the Almighty and more of a delivery from AIG and ExxonMobil and Pfizer and Comcast. The magic of right-clicking the PDF revealed today that the listed author of the Republican Party's new Pledge to America is a fellow named Brian Wild, a staffer for John Boehner, who is also a former lobbyist for all of those aforementioned companies and more. Mr. Wild worked for the Nichols Group, a lobbying firm that was paid more than $740,000 to lobby for AIG, more than $1.3 million to lobby for ExxonMobil, more than $625,000 to lobby for the pharmaceutical company Pfizer. The reason that is particularly awkward for this particular political document is because Republicans went out of their way with this thing to make this particular pledge seem like it was just the voice of the people. Republican Congressman Mike Pence said the effort would prove that the Democrat majority isn't listening, but House Republicans will. House Republicans will, not like those rats. House Republicans will listen, and then we'll have an Exxon lobbyist write it down. As part of that we're listening to you spin, the whole basis of the Republican campaign pledge was their big America Speaking Out website, giving the impression to anybody visiting that website that whatever suggestion got the most thumbs up votes on the website would become part of this Republican agenda. Republicans were merely a vessel for the desires of the American people. But it turns out the desires of the American people, as expressed at americaspeakingout.com with those little thumbs up, they were for legalizing pot and ending the outsourcing of American jobs to other countries. Those are some of the things that turned out to be the most popular ideas, the most thumbs up on the America Speaking Out website. But those stated desires of the American people that the Americans weren't going to ignore like that Democrat majority does, those desires were not, in fact, beamed directly from americaspeakingout.com through the larynxes of the Republican leaders today and back out to the American people when these Republican leaders gathered to unveil their new agenda. Legalizing pot, for example, shockingly nowhere to be found in the Republicans' new Pledge to America, and Republicans say nothing at all about that other very popular idea of trying to stop the outsourcing of American jobs, which would seem to suggest two things. One, who they say they're listening to doesn't seem to be nearly as important as who they actually let write the thing. And two, next time Republicans decide to come up with a pledge or a contract or a manifesto, wouldn't it be awesome if the pot lobby got a lobbyist on the inside who could secretly author the whole thing? That I would pay to see in a full-page ad in TV Guide. That I would tear out and put up on the fridge.